I got a quick one for you today, folks. We are going to bust through 3 manifestor myths to help this type actually operate from a place of peace. Leanne Wolf here. As a human design professional and a BG5 business consultant, it has become very clear to me as I have conversations and coach clients all over the world is we have some real misinformation happening for our manifestors. So this is only going to be one of a few videos that I do for the manifestor type because the myths are so profound. So first, what I want you to just grasp, the human design system itself is teaching us something that's 180 degrees different than anybody else. That's why it feels so uncomfortable, because we've been conditioned in this delusional world. And human design introduces us to the reality of what is in the potential for us. The system itself is rooted in the ancient wisdom. Of course it is. It's rooted in the I Ching, the Tree of Life, the chakra system, astrology. It's rooted in those. But the beautiful aspect of this is that it brings us off of that platform of ancient teachings and ancient wisdom into a leading edge technology where the scalar potential and the vector wave reality in the quantum physics world can be harnessed. And it can be harnessed in a way where the old teachings are just the platform. So some of that you might go like, what the fuck is she talking about? Take a look at scalar energy. Just Google it. Just like we Google everything. And go into the vector wave reality as well. And just watch how those things take place. So one of the things that Ra always said was, be an observer. Because in a quantum physics world, in the reality that we are in currently, how we collapse those scalar wave potentials into a vector wave reality is by observing. And our manifestors have been given a real bad rap. Lots of bad information. And I'm going to walk through 3 myths today in this quick, short little video because I think it's important. So as a manifestor, the foundation of who and what you are, if you are a manifestor and you are listening to this, is you are designed to see and recognize those cracks in the time-space continuum where something needs to be created. And when you see and recognize that crack, it is important then to wait for your physical body to move you towards that little tiny opening, that gap, so that you can then create a new beginning for humanity, gather allies along your way, and when you gather those allies will help you build what it is that you're beginning. Okay. So myth number 1, you must tell people what the end result is going to be. This is something manifestors have come to me constantly. And they're like, listen, as soon as I tell somebody the big picture, they flip out. They get scared. They get in my way. And I'm like, well, that's because you are designed only to see the big picture. You are the one that is designed to see what needs to be fulfilled out there in the ethers. Because the manifestor is connected to the program more than any other of the types. Some of you are going to say, well, aren't we all? Yeah, we all are. However, the manifestor type, they are 100% connected. That's why they feel alone. That's why they have this hard candy coating. They are the ones that are designed to make things happen out in the ethers. However, that big picture, they have the shoulder strength to burden that knowing. So don't, if you are a manifestor, don't tell people the end result, because they're not going to get it. That end result is actually only for you to see it, recognize it, experience it, and then begin the foundation of it. So what I coach my clientele when they are manifestors, what you want to be able to do is this: leave breadcrumbs along the way. Leave little tiny nuggets of information, because that is your strategy. Informing. You want to inform people along the way so that they have the ability and the access to their own strategy and authority, so that they can leave you alone in your creative muse to begin whatever it is that you're beginning. So that's myth number 1. You do not need to tell people the end result. Just inform them of the little tiny nuggets or breadcrumbs along the way so that they can get out of your way. Myth number 2. This one's an interesting. You must have an idea to manifest or make money. I get this question all the time. So you mean to tell me that I have to sit here and wait for this big light bulb to go off so that I can actually make money? So I'm not enslaved anymore? No. None of us, not one of us, are designed to manifest from the polarity of our brains or our minds. The mind is a polarity aspect. It's always playing this or that. What the manifestor is designed to do, again, you are designed to look out. You are designed to recognize what is that gap that needs to be fulfilled. Now, that's going to usually happen through experiences in your life. You see that gap, and then when your physical body moves you into that gap to begin creating, that's what manifestation is. However, all teaching right now on the planet about manifestation is mental. I don't want you, and neither does human design, and neither does Ra, want you to manifest through the mental plane. Now just listen for a moment. How did Ra have his experience? It was a physical body experience. He wasn't sitting in Ibiza thinking, geez, I need to have an experience. Geez, I need to force this idea of whatever it is on people. No, the experience entered through his body and expressed itself. That's exactly what needs to happen for all manifestors. It's not about ideas. It's not about the mental plane. It's not about manifesting from the polarity of the mind or the brain. It's about operating from the movement inside of you. And here's the other thing that I'm going to get into in a totally different video. But remember that manifestors have access to 2 different sets of channels or strengths. And that is projector strengths and manifested strengths. And projected strengths have to be invited and they have to be recognized. So, all manifestors have that kind of energy built into them. It's about the recognition of the gap. The recognition of the gap that's out there that you get to then come behind and go, this thing needs to be created in this space. Now, we know this in quantum physics. I've talked about this in many of my videos. Apparently, this video isn't going to be very short. I talked about this in many of my videos. Go to one of your shelves, a cupboard, a desk, a table, whatever. Clean it off. Completely clean it off. And begin to recognize how all of a sudden things start accumulating on that shelf, on that cupboard, on that table. Why? because that's how our quantum physics world is designed. As soon as we make a space, something gets created there. That's what our manifestors are designed to do. Now, everybody is going to say, well, we're all designed to manifest. Yes, but it totally looks completely different. As builders, we are here to manifest a project, a building project that's already been out in the ethers, because the manifestor created the foundation for it. Now we get to come behind and build it. So recognize that the human design system never puts limitations on us, because we're playing in scalar energy here. We're playing in the scalar potential. And the beautiful part is all your openness is potential. All of it is potential. However, the manifestation operates and acts differently for everybody. Now, if you have questions about that, drop the comments below. Let's have a conversation about it and help people through this. Now, myth number 3. The myth is that the manifestor has to do all the work. I hear this all the time. I live with a manifestor who is an ego manifestor. And I hear this out of his mouth. I'll just do it myself. I'll just do it myself. I don't need help. I'll do it myself. Now, he's getting better. There's no doubt about it. But there's still this old programming that if he doesn't do it, it's not going to get done. Now, again, the manifestor energy is alone. It's in its bubble. It wants to be in its creative muse. So once it starts working on something, once it starts filling the space and starts creating something, it is a difficult task to hand that over to a builder and have the builder complete the project. But that's really what you're designed to do, because the more you force yourself to work, the more you're breaking down your physical body. So it's about that information piece again. When you provide people with those little nuggets along the way, or those little breadcrumbs, all of a sudden we go from having nothing to having an entire project built just with little tiny nuggets. So here's a great example of this. The government. When the government does big projects that, in my mind, sometimes can be very nefarious, they segregate it. They don't bring everybody into one big room and say, hey, this is our end result. No, they segregate it. They break it up into thousands of little projects. And each one of those projects is building on their thing, but they don't know what the end result is. This happens all the time. And whether you want to call this nefarious or being a trickster or manipulative, could be all of the above. That's what the tribe does. The end result, the big picture, isn't seen. So those scientists or those people that are building it or working on it, they didn't know that the end result was, let's just say, a nuclear bomb. They didn't know that. They just worked on their little aspect of it. And that's really what a manifestor is designed to do. See the big picture. See the large picture. And then you break it down into little tiny nuggets. So that as people are working on it, as you get builders as allies, then all of a sudden that creation can be built, and you didn't do all the work behind it, because that's not what you're designed to do. So here I said that this was going to be short. It wasn't very short. Now, just be aware that I'm going to bring out probably a few more manifestor videos. But myth number one was, you have to tell people the end result. No, you don't. Just bring little nuggets along the way, drop little breadcrumbs. That's the best way to manifest. Myth number 2, you must have an idea to manifest or to make money. That's incorrect as well. You just need to be able to see very, very clearly where the gap is and then create the foundation so that whatever needs to be built can be built. And myth number 3, you need to do all the work yourself. Again, incorrect. You just need to have the patience and the wherewithal to bring allies along with you so that the building process can happen without you degrading your physical body. All right, until next time, if there's any comments, any questions, any of that, please drop it below. Again, I love doing these videos, so hopefully I see you in one of my coaching packages and in a session so that we can get deep into your design and really, really bring you to a place of pure connection with the source frequency that's within your body graph. All right, thanks.